So we built this loft, we started building this loft in July of last year, and we finished just about when the birds were arriving this year. The loft is 140 feet by 140, so 280 feet with a 100 by 12 foot fly pen attached to both sides. Birds will trap on the deck there, and I think it's just over 6,400 square feet of loft space. There's over 10,000 perches, just over 10,000 perches in the loft, and could comfortably hold 6,000 pigeons. When we built it with the pigeons in mind. Everything in the loft should be for the pigeons and not the manager, and that's where we went with it. And even now we find things that we're going to change for better ventilation and whatnot. The stone patio for them, the ag lime, that just came about accidentally. We wanted something to keep the pigeons out of the grass, and it worked. You can see the birds rather stay on the stone than the grass for the most part. We're here in early July. Flights are coming back on the pigeons. Tails have grown back, and it won't be long now. I would say by the third week of July they'll be up and moving, and we should have starting to see them to range by the end of July. Training will start here hopefully before the second week or by the second week of August, and races will start mid-September. The loft stays pretty dry. Again, we're working on new ventilation. Some things we find out every day. New things we find out every day. These poles you see were put in to, we were going to net the entire area, but we started to settle birds quicker than what we thought, so there was no need for the net, so the poles will be removed. The loft sits on almost 20 acres of land, and again, we're in Wanata, Indiana. You can look around, it's nothing but farmland. Not much the pigeons can get into as far as getting themselves into trouble, hitting wires or anything like that. When birds are in, most of the day you'll see them in the fly pens. They'd rather be in the fly pens than in the loft. We have 3 full-time employees and 2 part-time employees here at the Hoosier Classic, just on loft maintenance. We have a good team, and I think that's what probably differentiates us from other one-loft races here in the United States. In my opinion, that you can't do it by yourself. It's too much work. I know I can't. Hats off to the fellas that can. We're dealing with larger numbers of pigeons, and it takes quite a crew to keep the birds healthy and the lofts managed correctly. So I'll take you on a tour of the inside of this wing. We call this the south wing of the loft. We feed the birds Versalaga. Here you see the Versalaga starter. They're actually off of that now, and they're on Versalaga Junior, which is just a little bit of a lighter feed, a little more barley in there, and with the hope of getting the birds a little lighter to fly. They are given Javati grit. The Javati grit, it's packed with every mineral you can think of, and they just go crazy over it. I've seen on race days that they come in and they'll go to the grit before they go to the food and water sometimes. 3 days a week, only because it's time consuming. They get a multiple oil base put over their feed with brewer's yeast. That's all they get. And the water most of the time is Ropa B or VitaPro combo. As far as antibiotics, we wish we never had to use them, but with this many pigeons, you're going to get sick pigeons and you have to treat. We do treat religiously for canker and respiratory once a month. I think that's a given. We vaccinate upon arrival for PMV, paratyphoid, and pox. And that's all the birds get. Again, we're not a big fan of antibiotics, but you have to use them when you have this many pigeons. So this loft here is identical to the other side. Same square footage. We're only using about half of this loft at this point until we get all the birds settled. Once all the birds are settled, then they'll have both sides. It's just easier for us to manage this way at this point. And we have a couple of hundred birds to settle, maybe 250. And once they're settled, then the birds will be given free rein of both sides. There's 200 perches in each room, not counting the perches out here and the perches in the aviary. First thing I do when I come in the morning, I look at droppings. I start my pigeon day by looking at pigeon droppings. And what I see in this room is almost perfect. Of course, the more pigeons you have in an area, it'll be a little more wet. But this side doesn't have as many pigeons, but the droppings tell me that they're very, very healthy. They're almost the color you want. There's down on top of the top of the droppings. You want to see that pigeons are healthy. Not many people can say they start the day by looking at pigeon droppings. It's probably not the prettiest sight, but that's what we do. We are actually waiting for a call from the veterinarian, Tri-County Vet Clinic today, because we had sent droppings off yesterday to be tested for coccidian worms, and I believe we'll come back negative on both, but you never can tell. That's why we have them tested. I think we're one of the very few one-loft races in the country that does that. I wish more races would do that. Take the guessing out of it. We're not veterinarians, leave it to the professionals, and for only a few dollars a month have them tested. And it saves a lot of time. Instead of putting a bunch of product down their throat, you know what to give them or not to give them. This room tells me these pigeons are spot on healthy. Down here is our clock room. No clock in it, of course, but this is where the clock will be held, and all of our wiring is brought into here. We used a benzene clocking system. So this year the birds, this will be the first time it's ever been done, but when the birds are clocked, they will show live on benzene one loft system and Wind Companion. Both very, very good systems, and they've been working together on our behalf to show on both. Benzene flew one of their engineers in and had everything put in correctly for us. I don't think we miss any pigeons now when they clock. I wish we would have did it 5 years ago, had them come in and do it. But benzene has been very good, and Terry Gilmore from Wind Companion, he's a genius, and we appreciate these guys very much. So what you see here is a group of birds that has to be settled. What I did before is that their fly pen, we had a net covering the entire deck. And the problem with that is we had to go out there and teach the birds, hey, it's okay to go through the traps. Well, by keeping it shorter, the birds almost have no choice but to come through the traps for food and water. This way has worked out very good for us, and by the time we settle them, we just swing these doors open and they're with the main group. And they know how to trap, so it's much easier to do it this way. The old way, we thought we had it right, but again, you learn something every day with these pigeons, and we learned we were doing things wrong. The best thing we did in these lofts were these big aviaries. It was the best thing we did for the pigeons. It keeps them so much healthier. I almost threw in the towel on this deck trapping system because it was very difficult to get the birds to catch on, and I wanted to go back to the old California style trapping, but we stuck with it, and now I really like it. The birds caught on quick. When the birds come in, so this is week 1, 1st of March, they were given an orange snap ring. Week 2, they were given a white. The color didn't matter, but the color was given to those birds that came in that week. We don't use the same color twice. And what that tells us, the birds are vaccinated in week 1 for PMV and paratyphoid. Week 4, we go back and we look for all the orange colored bands because they're vaccinated again for PMV. We think the double vaccination is key in a one loft race, even in your own loft, but one loft racing, I'm a firm believer that it's a must. You have to hit them twice. So week 2, we would look again in week 5 for the white banded birds, and so on. We're vaccinating birds every week here until all the birds arrive, and then 4 weeks after. That's the chart we have, and it keeps it simple. We try to simplify it. It's a lot of work, but it's foolproof. These birds here, they were pulled out for one reason or the other. Maybe they were falling a little behind, not catching up with eating or drinking. So we'll pull them and put them in these portable units for a few days. Usually it only takes 2-3 days for the birds to rebound. You can put them back in the loft. If it's something lingering, something a little more harsh, they'll be removed totally and put back into quarantine until we could diagnose it properly, and then we contact the owners and let them know, hey, this is where the bird is at. It's not gonna rebound. Bird should be removed. Send a replacement. So these birds here are doing much better. They're a little young. They came in late, and they'll be back in the loft today. We were talking yesterday. The hardest thing in a one loft race is keeping the health right. There's no secret to it. You just have to work hard, keep the lofts clean, stay on top of your vaccinations, and cross your fingers. Because you need a lot of luck with it too. There's so many different pigeons coming in from all over the country and now even other countries. Try to take a pro-action course with the birds as far as stay ahead of it. Don't fall behind. And no matter how you try, you're going to still see sick pigeons. It's just the way it is, unfortunately. This is our routine every day, Monday through Sunday and back on Monday. It's pigeons, pigeons, pigeons. I couldn't do it by myself. It takes a team, takes a good team, and we'll show you. So again, same thing on this side. We have our hoppers for the feed over on here. Each hopper will hold approximately 22 bags each. The fellows get a chart of where we're at on the water. We try to stick with that unless something drastic happens and the bird is sent into a vet and he says, no, you know, if you have to treat the whole flock, then it'll get changed up. But stick with the program, try not to veer from what you have planned, and things usually work out. Birds get a little light, we'll add a little more corn. We're in July, so they're just, it's very hot, they're not eating as much. But I wouldn't even know where we're at on feed right now. We're probably going through, I don't know, maybe 5 bags a day, 5-6 bags a day. You can see here that you'll see a couple different types. Droppings are good here. A little more wet here. Nothing to panic over. Again, when the birds come in from a hot day, they'll almost finish the drinkers, which is a lot of water intake, which makes for a wetter dropping. But if we start to see a lot of that, then we'll take things into consideration. But again, that's why we use a veterinarian. Droppings were sampled from every room yesterday, baggied, mailed off to the vet. If you're here when the phone call comes in, we'll give you the results. Lofts are cleaned every day. Lofts are cleaned every day from top to bottom. One guy on the perches, and you're going to see how the floors are cleaned in a minute. You're not going to believe it. I buy him scrapers on a pole. He throws them away. This is how the loft is done. It's done cleaner. It's better this way. I wouldn't clean this way, but I'm not Keith. And Keith is my father-in-law, and the fellow you seen there was Devin. Without Keith, I would close the doors and walk away from this project. I need Keith on my team, and without him, there's no Hoosier Classic. That's the truth. So right now the pigeons act like park pigeons. There's not much flying, very little. But as we're in July now, the birds will be reminded from us, hey, you have wings, we're going to show you that you can fly, and every day that time will be increased. And by the 3rd week, definitely the 4th week of July, they'll be ranging, they'll be out routing off. And not every pigeon's built the same, so you'll get different fly times out of pigeons. But they're all treated the same, so there's no excuse for it. They'll all have to be up and going. Right now, it doesn't bother me. Just it's too hot. But when they first come out, every day now they'll be shagged up a few minutes, and each day it increases just by a couple of minutes. Our training will start right here on the property. And that's when I drive our crew crazy, because when we first load the trailer, it takes forever. And I only drive them about 500 feet behind the loft. They sit on the trailer for a couple of hours, and we release one basket at a time. And we do this for about 4 days. And what this does, it takes the edge off the birds. My own personal birds, I don't do that. I would load them up and gone 5 miles. But we don't want panic to set in. The last thing we want is these birds to be panicked when you have them 10, 15 miles away from home and you lose a bunch of pigeons. So we remove the panic here, and then their very first toss off the property is only 1 mile, and then 5 miles, and we increase it 5 miles twice. Once we're at a destination twice, we jump them 5 miles. Once we get to 30, then we'll start jumping them 10. No one loft race ever wants to lose a pigeon, and you want to take as many as you can for your clients to the final race. That should be your goal, and I believe it is everybody's goal that runs a one loft race. Here at the Hoosier Classic, you see all types of pigeons as far as body. A lot of the birds here have a body type for a middle distant pigeon. There is exception to the rule. Some guys send in the old strains. We don't know what the strain is, but a longer, deeper pigeon. We see all kinds of. We see all kind win because of the different. Every race is different. Short wing, long wing. An apple-bodied pigeon as compared to a long, almost like chicken type pigeon we've seen win the race, as big as a chicken. But hens do very well. Hens do very well in any one loft race. We've never had a grizzle win the race yet, or a red check. Blue bars and blue checks, I don't think color matters. There's some grizzles in here that are phenomenal. The bodies on them are great. And there's birds in here from top lofts in the United States to guys you never heard of. And the guys you never heard of, their birds size up right out of the box to the champions, you know. And it's going to be an interesting year. That's for sure.